What's up, everybody? We are BingetownTV. This is Jimmy. I'm Kathleen. We're here with moderator, producer Matt, who I missed very much from my favorite episode, Years and Days. We are here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Scream, me and Jimmy's favorite movie of all time. Collectively, it bonded us as siblings. We're glad Matt is here because me and Jimmy have the same exact opinions on literally everything.
But we also have these shirts because of Matt.
Because of Matt. Wear a mask, baby. Get vaccinated. Wear a mask.
And I guess are we ready to dive into the first debate
Yeah, let's
topic?
do it.
Yeah, I will preface this. I haven't watched Scream yet this season because we're going in to see it in theaters on Sunday. So, because they're for the 25th anniversary, they had 2 nights they could go in theaters and see it. So, I wanted that to be the first time this season to see it, even though I've seen it 1,000 times. It's not going to change my opinions. It's just not as fresh as if I were to watch it.
I thought it'd be a lot more interesting for us to do these debates without having just watched it.
Yeah.
Especially one of the debates / questions that's coming up about who killed who, meaning Stu or Billy.
Yeah,
I think that's
coming
off the top of our heads. I think that's more fun to do than to actually just rewatch the movie and make our decision.
You want to start with that one then? Who killed who? I want to ask you guys a quick question leading into you going through this list. Without looking at your notes, off the top of your head, who do you think is in the Ghostface costume more, Billy or Stu?
I honestly think it's Stu,
I would say.
None of it is ever confirmed, right? It's not confirmed who, so you can make educated guesses, right? But I don't know, because I was only really thinking of the big kills, which I feel like favors Stu in my head.
I agree.
But I feel like Billy's always on the phone and Stu's doing the wacky, clumsy fucking Ghostface stuff.
Because goddamn, if Ghostface isn't a clumsy
the
motherfucker.
clumsiest
He really is,
motherfucker
right?
of all time. Yeah, which is very Stu-like as well, even though he's clumsy always.
Right.
I don't think they were being so
I mean, that's the other good thing about Scream too, though, is because you have this serial killer, you have this scary whatever villain, and it's a regular person. So, of course, they're not anything supernatural. They're not martial artists. They're going to get their ass kicked or they're going to be clumsy. And it's a real person, So I thought it was really cool how they did that throughout the 3-4 movies. So we're not going to start with Maureen. We could talk about her at the end if you want. So the first one will be Steve.
Yeah, that's definitely Billy on the phone, Stu killing both of them. Did you have the same?
Yep. So
yeah.
Stu's ex is Casey Becker.
Yeah.
They say that. They dated for a few seconds. Yeah. So Stu murdered both of them. I have, and Billy's on the phone. I'm guessing they both have to either be. They're both there. Now, are they both in a costume or are they sharing the costume? Billy obviously has to be around to see what's going on so he could be aware of what to say on the phone. And to let Stu kind of know where they are.
I thought the same thing, but there's no way that the Ghostface we see is also using a phone.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, right,
it's. I think it's. And then of course he climbs up Sid's. Whatever.
We'll get into that in a second.
Okay.
Now the one thing I did want to bring up is Stu kills Casey, and when she pulls the mask off, she obviously looks like she knows the person, and she knows Stu and Billy. So I guess that doesn't mean that much, but. Are we going to assume that Stu hung her up from a tree by himself? A full-grown woman? Billy was there.
Suspend your disbelief.
Well, there's going to be plenty of suspending it. I have some things I want to talk about, too. Yeah.
We have to remember that, when we're talking horror movies, we also had to buy that a man dying of cancer was able to drag multiple bodies to different warehouses in the Saw movies.
Yeah.
So,
You
got... Factoring in the weight of a human body is something you just got to shut off in your brain when you're watching these movies.
Yeah, fully.
So now,
wait, let me guess.
Okay,
okay, so then I guess the next one is when Sid falls asleep. One of my least favorite things in the world is going to bed or napping during the daytime and waking up at night because you didn't turn any lights on in the house, and then you wake up in the dark and it's just super eerie. It's exactly, and that's a real life thing. It's exactly what she does in the movie. I mean, Billy's the one who climbs through the window.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's got to be Billy because he's the one with the. I mean, he's the one with the
phone, but that's the thing.
No, the personal, he wants to. I feel like he wants to get Sid. So I would say Billy only in that way.
So you're saying Billy's on the phone, and who attacks is what I'm asking.
I think he could be on the phone in the closet when he comes out.
No. Stu's in the costume. Stu's in the costume, and Billy's on the phone. Billy's obviously talking to her because Billy's the one who actually has like animosity towards her. You know, this is where you see him not being goofy. This is him actually having animosity. Stu attacks her. You know, there's no way that when he's at the door and she's holding him off and he's swinging the knife hilariously through the door, that he disappears and then all of a sudden Billy comes through the window. It can't be Billy in the costume there. So also when it comes to the way that they're doing their plan, you know, they talk on the phone via her dad's cell phone, but Billy drops his own cell phone so that it's part of the plan where he can get caught and then be proven that he wasn't actually the killer.
Yeah, that's okay.
So Billy comes in through the window. Stu's the one attacking.
All right, fine, you dick. The next one, in the bathroom, when the footsteps down.
I would love to talk about this one.
Sid runs out and bumps into Billy, right? Correct? Doesn't she? Oh no, that's a later scene when
Billy
he's
and
like,
her bump. They get in an argument, and then she goes to the bathroom.
he's like, "You still think it's me, right?"
Yeah, that
okay, then it's Stu. And then isn't he outside when they go to the party? Or is that a different scene?
Right. So here's my problem with this, and there's going to be 2 more of these. I don't think that this is either of them. Yeah,
that's my guess too. I think it's a red herring, and I think it's the kid that the principal's yelling at later for running around wearing the costume.
Yeah, I think it's a horror quip that's hilarious because they're going with this like making fun of it satire thing, but obviously she hears Cindy, which is really sketchy because you're supposed to think it's either Billy or Stu, but the killer doesn't have a knife with him. It's just can't be Billy. Stu, like you said, is not able to really be in the area. How would either one of them be able to guess? You know, the popular theory, which I had to look this up years ago because it annoyed me, kind of like what you're saying, Matt, where I kind of thought it would just be someone random. I think a lot of people do think that it's just like a coincidence that the person was in there and it's someone random. But again, you got to accept some some things.
Wait, that makes that so cool and good. Like that's really good, except for the fact that like why didn't they let us know that type deal? Like because that's very cool that it could be a red herring. Also, it could be the killer from Scream 3.
Could be Roman.
Her half brother.
Yeah, let's go with that theory. It's Roman.
That's fine.
That would make that would make the third movie make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
So the next is the principal. You little shits. I hate when I always think it's so aggressive when he's like has the scissors and he's like chopping it. Like he's so
put it up to their neck.
Yeah,
and stuff. 100%.
It's like he's justified in being pissed off about like those kids are definitely in the wrong.
Yeah,
he's going about it completely the wrong way.
Right, exactly.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Okay.
Stu?
No.
Billy. I meant to say Billy.
All right, so here's
I would lean towards Billy too. I feel like
so
just because like Stu's killing everybody right now.
I feel like this one has to be a definite though for Billy because if you think about it, they're setting up the party, right? Stu's the host of the party. The whole party gets set up. Stu's doing that whole thing. Then it's the reason why everybody leaves except for Sydney, Randy, Tatum's dead, blah blah blah. All the kids leave because the principal's hung up on the flagpole. So really, if Stu's setting up the party and being the host, it only really makes sense for Billy to be the one who could do that.
Who's in the grocery store?
I think that this is the other one that you were talking about.
2 more. We might as well hit those 2 because the grocery store and then the one where they're in the woods.
Yeah.
Both of them
stupid.
Suck. Yeah.
No, those are dumb as rocks.
Your guess is as good as mine with those. I'm not even going to attempt at it. It's just stupid.
Okay, the next one is Tatum. Our girl Tatum. Yep. I want to be in the sequel.
In the coldest garage I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh my God. She was never getting out of that. It's like in one scene, she's through it to her waist, and then in the next scene, she's only up to her tits. Like it's so bad. It's so funny. Like the cuts don't match up. I love it. That's definitely Billy.
Okay. So I don't have a definitely here. I say Billy as well.
I don't think Stu would want to kill Tatum.
So my whole thing is that Stu's, again, hosting the party, right? Billy's not at the party. So he has the excuse not to be there. Okay, there's 2 things. One is that the guy, Ghostface, comes in through the inside door.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Second thing is somebody had to lock her in. So maybe it's Billy. You know, Stu secretly lets them in, and then Billy locks them in. I don't know. I mean, I still go with Billy on this one. I just think that Stu's kind of busy.
Also, it's kind of crazy that, like, that's where the beer is.
Yeah.
and nobody sees Tatum. Until Sid.
Sydney sees her.
No,
yeah.
I was going to say, I think what's even more illogical, same vibe that you're going with, you've got 50 kids that are running out of a party to see a corpse hanging on a flagpole when there's a corpse dangling right outside the house.
Yeah, right.
Not a single one of them was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, what the hell's Tatum doing here freaking hanging?
But I don't think he'd want to kill his girlfriend. I know he killed his ex,
Yeah.
and he killed this person, and he killed the principal who's a dick, and you know what I mean? Like,
Billy killed the principal.
Yeah, let's clarify that right now.
Come on, Kathleen.
okay, but also I feel like
He's
I mean,
complicit with all of it.
They obviously
Yes.
agree on who's dying.
Yes.
And you have to assume that they were deciding when the first kill was going to happen, and Stu was like, let's go with my ex
Yeah,
here and her new boyfriend.
mhm.
You know?
But I think the flip side is if Stu's a man that's involved in this plan, there is no way that they get away with this with Tatum alive because she isn't going to leave that house.
Yeah, true.
Yes, right.
Mhm.
All right, Kathleen, what's next?
Next, we got Kenny.
Okay, so let's rewind for a second because I want to talk about, obviously,
him,
this is easy.
Go through the
Going through the house after Billy
rules.
gets attacked.
And then Randy's like, "Oh no, man, look behind you."
Behind you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we know that Billy gets attacked. It's obviously Stu. We have Ghostface coming up behind Randy. Sydney and Kenny are watching it on the monitor. Who is it there, Kathleen?
I think it's Stu the whole time because isn't Billy banging Sid upstairs?
Well, Billy is stabbed. You know, he's chilling. You know, so he comes down the stairs after being stabbed. So that whole entire time he had to stay upstairs.
Yes.
So yeah, I say that's Stu as well.
Yeah, they kill Kenny.
Stu obviously is the one checking on Gail. So yeah, I think we got everything. I mean, for the most part, I think we're right on almost everything except, you know, it's up for interpretation on Tatum. Cool.
Right.
Next.
All right, next topic.
Okay,
Which one do you want to do
let's
first?
do quote because that's easier.
All right,
we can
well,
just
here-
rattle them off.
I
Honestly,
I want to say a lot of them because I want you to have them in your head because we kind of talked about this before and we pretty much
This
had
fucking
two
guy.
answers. And what's your favorite scary movie? Matt excluded that. He said it cannot be an answer. So I think there's two between us, but I want to start saying some because with me saying them, I was like, damn, these are some pretty good
Wait,
ones.
I have 1,000. We have our favorite funny one. Well,
Hmm.
there's two favorite funny ones that we say like a lot.
Okay.
All right,
One, two, three.
Listen to
Bam!
me, little
Bitch went
bitch.
down.
I was thinking that one.
Well, listen to me, little bitch is funny because of
So-
us, but I was thinking,
You
I'll
are
send-
so cool.
yeah, I'll send you a copy.
Yeah.
Bam! Bitch went down. Bam! Sit.
Yeah,
Super bitch.
Super bitch.
You are so cool.
Yeah. Should we tell the story about Skeet Ulrich now for all of
Yeah.
our... Okay.
Yeah. So we went to Monster Mania in Cherry Hill. Skeet was there,
And this is like supposed to be for my birthday.
yeah.
It was kind of like Kathleen's going to bring me there. She's going to decide what she wants to get me when she's there.
I knew
And-
Skeet was gonna be there. So,
Yeah,
but the backstory is that me and Jimmy hate this shit. Like, we love the conventions, but what the fuck are we gonna say to this guy?
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna say to make an impact on this person? I don't want to. Like, we know they would love us in real life, but if we're only
Yeah.
having 1 minute, we don't want it. Like,
Yeah,
we want to
yeah.
My
make
whole-
a splash.
My whole thing when it comes to whether you see a celebrity, quote unquote, in real life or at these Comic Cons or cons or whatever, is I'm just happy that I have seen them. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't really
Be in the
I don't-
same room.
I don't need to say anything. Like if I saw someone on the street, I would have to be obsessed. Like probably Nev Campbell, I would be like, "Yo, you're the best," and keep walking or something.
Yeah.
But like to be honest, like I don't need to say anything to Skeet. Like I could be like, "There he is. I saw him. He's my boy, and I'm done with it." You know, like it doesn't really. And this is exactly why this story is funny. So yeah, we're standing there, we're trying to decide, are we gonna do it? And I was like, I don't think I really need to. I'm looking right at him. It's fine. And then Kathleen goes, you know what? It's for your birthday. Let's just freaking do it. And
It
I
was
like,
so cheap. It was like
Yeah.
$30 for a picture with him.
For
That's
two.
it, and we could both be in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, we're doing that. That's
And it was
nothing.
funny because we're waiting in line. I'm just like, I'm looking at him. That's good. You know, like, do I really need this right now? Like, I don't know what to say. And of course, in pure Kathleen style, we get up there and we're both sitting there like, what are we gonna say? But Kathleen is way more outgoing and she's like, Skeet boy, Skeet bro, what's up, man? And he loved it. He was like, oh my god. And I'm kind of just sitting there like all quiet. And I'm getting in the picture and I'm just like, big fan, man, big fan. You know, like, and Kathleen's
Love
all
your work.
pumped and like putting her arm around him and shit. And like So then
So hot.
at the
Just
very
so hot.
so then at the very end, as we're walking away, Kathleen goes, "Tell Skeet your favorite line and do it for him." And I'm going, "Are you freaking kidding me right now?" Because first of all, he hears it and he goes, "Yeah, man, let me hear it." And for number one is it's not even Skeet's line. Do you
It's the
remember
voice actor.
the voice actor
Yeah.
for Ghostface?
Yeah.
He says this line, and it's the "Listen to me, you little bitch" line. And that's
I'm
the
fun.
line that's on
Listen to me, you little bitch.
when he's on the phone with her, Kathleen, when you're saying who is it, who is it at her house, when
Yeah.
he's saying, I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I'm not gonna say this line for two reasons. One, it's crazy, especially if I do the voice, and two, it's not even him.
He's so good at
So
it,
then
though.
of course the way I just go, "No, Kathleen, no," like
Like
no,
it made it less awkward.
Yeah, no, it was funny in the
Yeah.
whole thing, and then we just
I was like,
walked
"Come
away,
on,
but I
do
was like,
it."
can't believe you just sandbagged me
I was like,
that.
"Do you little bitch?"
Yeah, right.
So Live Her Alone, an absolute classic, an amazing joke. We've got the scene where Sid punches Gail, and then afterwards they're like in pajamas having a sleepover, and Tatum's like saying, "Super bitch, you're so cool." We say,
Yeah.
"You're so cool"
You
to
are
each other.
so
You are
cool.
so cool to each other all the time.
Yeah.
I would say I always go back to the like, "Your slut mother was fucking my father," which is a
Okay.
crazy line to be that I
just
repeat.
blow out, yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't ever come up in real life. I
Right.
just like that line. I think he like with the knife, and I'm a
Do you say
big
that on the first date? When you're out on
yeah.
your first date?
I'm a big mannerisms girl, so I really like when like Stu has the gun. He's like, "Now you gotta die," and he's like
Yeah.
goofing around with the gun. Like I like when someone has a mannerism with the line, and
Right.
it makes me just like, "Oh yeah, I love that." But what do you have written?
I just want to say these. I have my answer still, and it probably was the first answer that we talked
Anthony
about.
Perkins Psycho
Yeah,
is another big one for us.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. So that whole thing with Randy is just gold.
Classic.
This one is up there for me, okay? Now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't
Don't you
create
blame the movies, Sid?
Movies make psychos more creative.
That's so
up
good.
there.
Yeah.
Basically, any line that Stu says in the kitchen,
Yeah, that's in
is
there. Yeah.
fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Agreed.
you already said. I mean, the mom and dad are going to be so mad at me line. is
Yeah.
Hit me
probably,
with the phone, dick.
You hit
Yeah.
me
Are you
with the
kidding me?
phone.
That one,
dick.
and I know that I read it was an ad lib. Because he actually did accidentally hit him
Yeah,
with the phone.
it's like
It wasn't supposed to be in the script.
got me too deep, man. I think I'm dying here,
I think
man.
I'm feeling a little woozy here.
That's another good one. Him
Yeah.
spitting and like
Yeah.
feel a little woozy.
That whole thing
Yeah.
is money.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never thought I'd be so happy to be a virgin, Randy. That's
Classic.
classic. Now, I like this one too. You should never say who's there, don't you watch scary movies. That's just classic right in the very beginning of the movie.
You know what does come up in conversation sometimes? I say, I want to see what your insides look like. I like that one. That I've said multiple times about multiple things.
I'm going right here. I'm just putting it all on the table. We all go a little mad sometimes. It was an iconic scene.
Yeah.
Shows that Billy
It's
is
the turn.
Yeah, it's the turn. It's literally the mind-blowing scene. It's unbelievable.
My only question with that is, should it count if it's literally just him quoting the movie Psycho?
Well, that's why he said,
Yeah.
I mean, I like the way he says Anthony Perkins
Yeah.
Psycho. Like, he's
And then
crazy.
he cracks his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta give Gail. I like. I remember to turn the safety off that time. I want to give Dewey a line too, and I always think like, why would someone like Gail Weathers go after Dewey, the laughing stock cop? You know what I mean? But I love the scene where she's like, "So you do watch my show?" And he said,
Yeah.
"I said it was 25. I was 24 for a whole year," or something
Yeah.
like that. Like
Yeah.
the demographic
That is
age.
a really fucking baller line
I-
right
Yeah.
there.
It's sexy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the line.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
one that makes me go.
Dewey's the man. I don't care what anyone says. Like,
Yeah,
he's the man.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. I
He's
mean,
apparently unkillable.
Yeah, right.
Right. I mean,
Well,
we didn't say anything from the opening with Drew too. I like a lot of the
Oh,
ghost.
yeah,
I like a
I
lot of the
did.
Ghostface lines.
I said the when she's saying who's there.
I
That one.
no, but I like
I-
I'm sorry, that's the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the one that my cousin Melissa used to always quote. I've got a boyfriend and he's big.
Yeah, and he
and I'll
plays
kick the
football
shit
and
out of
he
you.
kicks- Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good. No, I'm gonna say probably the whole beat about you want a motive, and then like
Yeah, the whole, all right. So their whole monologue right there.
Yeah, I like
Alright.
that whole monologue. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with like, because that's another big reveal. Your son mother was fucking my father, and that's
Yeah.
the reason my mom left me. Blah blah blah.
Yep. All right.
Enter Scream 2. Billy's mom.
Spoiler alert.
2 versus 4. Not much of a debate on this couch. I think we both agree that 4 is incredible and beats 2. We both love 2.
I think that 4 is better to me. I think that people
He's
definitely
covering his ass.
No, I think people definitely forget how good 2 was, especially if you're going to look at like Rotten Tomatoes, and you're also going to look at the fact that it did just as well as the first one did almost.
That is 1998. Like it was very soon after, right?
They
came
literally
out-
got all of them done in like a 5-year span,
Yeah, it
meaning
was
the first
insane.
3.
They should have
yeah.
took a little more time on the third one. Okay, so here's my thoughts. I think 2 was excellent. I thought it lost a lot of the quirk, which made 1 so great. 2 is just as great. I love a sequel. I love the scene where they're going over the rules. I love a rule in the
Right.
class. That's like my dream is to take a film class where people are actually debating in the
Yeah,
class
right.
like that. It's
Mhm.
amazing. But I think they did it better in the 4th one because 1, 2, and 3 came out so close, and 3
Yeah.
went down. And I was young, so I didn't see them in theaters. Whatever.
Right.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
when they decided they were coming out with 4 and had all new rules for this like 10 years later, it's like it is not the same as 1996.
Right,
There's
it's the
all
reboot
new. It's the
rules, and it's-
reboot.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I thought that was so smart and very funny. The cast was incredible. I thought the twists were good. I remember being in theaters and being like, "Who the fuck is it?"
Yeah.
Like I was totally unsure. I think that since Drew like having to answer the trivia questions in 1 is one of my favorite parts. I
Right.
think Hayden Panettiere ripping off the all
Every
the
single
movies
movie, yeah.
is Emmy worthy. I mean
Yeah.
Oscar worthy. Where's
Yeah,
her
right.
Oscar for
Yeah.
Scream 4? I think it was different enough that it felt fresh, but nostalgic enough that it still felt like Scream.
To me, Scream 1 was revolutionary in every way.
Yeah.
I think that the first time you find out that there's 2 killers, that is revolutionary.
Mhm.
The second movie comes out and they do it, and I thought they did it pretty well, but at that time I'm not going to go, "Oh, that's crazy," because I kind of assumed there was going to be 2.
Yeah.
I still think that the scene where she has to climb over Ghostface when he's after the car crash is one of the scariest ones of all 4 movies.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So, I mean, I definitely think that 2 is a really good movie, but to Kathleen's point, they got very Scream-like and ballsy, to be honest, the way that they decided how they were going to do this movie, because when Scream 4 came out, everyone thought that it was going to be a new trilogy, and what's her name? Emma Roberts was going to take over as the new Sydney or as the new final girl. And they literally could have just done that if they were a lesser movie. But instead, they blow everybody's minds and they make Emma Roberts the actual main villain.
Yeah.
And they base it off the first movie. You're the Stu, I'm the Billy. And I just thought that was, again, Kathleen said, she was shocked. I was shocked. And I'm not very shocked often anymore. I mean, it's been 10 years since this movie came out. Unfortunately, I did not get to see it in theaters because I was at Penn State and there's only like 1 theater. But
I saw the last Harry Potter in theaters.
At Penn
You
State.
make a way. You find a
you
way.
should have.
Find your beach, baby.
Like the blend of the old characters with the new characters, I really hope Scream 5 does the same. You expect it to be like the passing of the torch with Nev and all those people and Dewey, and maybe some of them would have stayed around, but the main characters were going to stay as Emma and Hayden Panettiere.
It's crazy that none of them.
All right, so I guess someone has to be part 2.
Right.
So here's my thing. I love part 4. This is, in general, I think that they are head to head at all times. I used to hate part 2. When I saw part 2 for the first time, I thought that the reveal of Billy's mom was stupid.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a kid who identified with Randy, the death of Randy absolutely destroyed me as a human being.
They brought him back for the third one, okay?
Let's not talk about the third one. Upon multiple rewatches, too, and also becoming a fan of bad movies, the key thing, and Kathleen brought it up, the scene in the classroom when they're talking about why sequels suck.
Yep.
Randy rattles off all these reasons why sequels are always disappointing and bad, and then Scream 2 goes out of its way to hit every single beat. That's how you up the meta, is that you intentionally almost sabotage your movie a little bit,
right,
to hit the meta beats. So that's my positives on Scream 2. My negative on Scream 4, and this was actually discussed on an episode of Horror Movie Night, is knowing how the movie was supposed to end and what it was supposed to set up.
Oh, what was it?
The original ending, according to Kevin Williamson, that he had written, is Sydney dies.
Yeah.
And and
Nah.
Emma Roberts gets
Takes
away
over.
gets
Gets
away
away. Okay.
gets away with it. And his setup was that Scream 5 was going to be a combination of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, where a copycat killer is doing everything, and Emma Roberts knows it's not her because she was the killer the last time, and realizes that someone knows that she did it and got away and is trying to frame her. And he's like, I just thought it'd be really interesting to make a movie where your protagonist is also a villain that you want to see get caught simultaneously.
Wow, that's actually very cool. And you saying that sounds great in concept. I think what actually happened with 4, and not you, maybe you know why they changed it.
The studio told him
great.
to.
Yeah.
Like he literally said that all the hospital stuff was added after. Like the shot where Sydney's getting pulled into the ambulance, like that was the end of the movie.
You have to make a decision. You have to decide if Emma Roberts is not going to be the killer and she's the new protagonist, or you're going to make her the main protagonist and Sydney gets away, or, survives. She's still the final. I would have been okay if Emma Roberts somehow. No, actually, no, I wouldn't have been. I was gonna say if she didn't die, but no, there's no way you don't get caught at that point.
She wanted the fame. And I don't want her to have that fame or live to see that fame. Fuck her.
This is not. I don't like Scream.
Yeah,
4.
No. Trust me, I know what you're saying.
It's Scream, Scream 2, Scream 4, Scream 3.
No,
yeah,
100%.
So there are some plot holes. Like Billy's mom. I guess you can argue that Sydney never maybe met Billy's mom. I think she says, like, I've seen pictures of you. You lost a lot of weight or something like that. Like, wouldn't someone notice her? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels plot holey.
Right.
Well,
it's like you can get away with it, but you're really going to act like a reporter and be up in her business constantly.
But also, she's never, I don't think she's ever in a scene with Sydney. She's always with Gail, who wouldn't know Billy's mom.
She's always putting the recorder in Gail's face, but I don't know how much she's actually with Sydney.
But yeah, 2 is still incredible, and I agree, Jimmy. I think that probably is the biggest, like, hold your breath moment. The car scene, the car crash. I'm always like, just rip the mask off, see who it is. What the fuck?
We've taken a lot of shits on part 3, but I do want to give a shout out. I do think that part 3 has one of the most brilliant moments in the whole series, which is Sydney running through the set of her old house.
Hell yeah.
That scene is incredible, and I wish that the rest of the movie was as good as that. There's so many good ideas in Scream 3. It's just that the execution and everything else is very rushed, and it's clear.
The thing that sucks is we don't know what they actually wanted to do here, because Roman being a thing and him saying, like, oh, I'm your long-lost brother and your half-brother, and I orchestrated everything. That's why I said, let's get to Maureen later, because Roman comes out in Scream 3 and basically says, I recruited Billy and I told Billy to get a fall guy. So that's how Billy and Stu come about. And I basically threw him at, told him the deal and basically threw him at Maureen so that they could kill her.
I think that lessens the first movie.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like, no, I want Billy and Stu to have concocted this themselves. I wanted them to murder Maureen out of pure hatred and then think a year later and come back and kill more people. Like, I don't want it to be like someone else orchestrating it behind the scenes. I want it to just be like dumb teenagers making dumb decisions.
Yeah. Well, we could probably quote the entire movie, but
next time we'll do a reenactment instead.
Happy 25 years of Scream.
We love you.
In what, 1 year we'll do happy 25 years of Scream 2?
Yeah.
I mean, if you two are up to it, I'll also go see it in theaters. We could do another one of these to discuss Scream 5 after it's been released.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll put that in the books.
I mean, we should get as many people as we can to go see Scream 5's fucking...
Make sure it gets the nice box office.
Yeah, right.
So
I'll see it every day.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep, exactly. Everyone wear a mask.
Wear a mask, baby. Get vaccinated. Love y'all.
All right.